This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Satyavani, and I'm here along with my partner, Prajna Mandavi. And we want to welcome you to the Trainerize app, our branded app. This app has two beautiful functions that we want to share with you to get your health moving in a woman warrior direction.
So the first component is the fitness workout side, which is fabulous. With this app, trainers can give you a personalized experience based on your fitness goals, our dosha assessment, and fitness level. The app has phenomenal access to videos for each exercise so that there is very little confusion. There's also messaging capabilities so that trainers can continually keep in contact with you as you move further into your fitness journey.
The second component is the nutrition piece, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. After the initial assessment is taken, trainers can align your doshic diet to your specific exercise regimen, which means that eating more of what you need and less of what you don't. The recipes are then posted in the app where you can choose meals based on time, ingredients, and taste. And you can always refresh the menu if needed because you prefer something different.
So with these two components, along with our Ayurvedic assessment, we'll give you a unique and individualized experience that you most likely cannot find anywhere else.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. By using our personalized app, you'll gain knowledge of what your body needs and be on the road to becoming your best and brightest self. Welcome to our app. Jai Bhagwan, Woman Warriors, and welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and my official business partner who is free from her W-2 job
Yes.
and co-host here,
Prajna Mandavi.
So happy that all of you are here with us today. So we are going to continue our journey through all the layers of the self, and we are at the mental emotional layer. Last week, we recorded our podcast about aligning our nutrition with our doshic type. And before that, we did aligning your fitness and exercises along with your body constitution type. And so today we're actually going to talk about herbs and supplements.
Awesome.
Which I'm really excited about because this can be also a mental emotional game.
Absolutely.
There is so much information out there about herbs. And so we're going to talk about today herbs that will assist in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And then also herbs I won't say some of them are not herbs, they're amino acids that are supportive of strength training. So, because we get this question all the time.
Yeah.
About, okay, what herbs should I take? Which supplements should I take? And my response tends to be the same, which is my supplement game is a part-time job because we don't get the nutritive value of our food anymore. So in order to have certain goals that you want to have achieved, we have to have certain supplements that are supporting that. So, but before we get started in a deep dive into that, I'm going to turn this over to you, girl, for our wellness check-in.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So
I'm excited.
I'll do the announcements first.
Yeah, let's
quick
do some
announcements. So first we have our dosha quiz, which is almost up on the website. We don't have it quite up there yet, but it's going to be there very soon. So the fabulous Bill, aka Shia LaBeouf, is working on it.
That's his part-time job as a computer programmer.
Yeah, he acts on the side. It doesn't make him much money, but and so he's getting that up here pretty soon. So be looking for that on the website. We have the nutrition app, which we are having some people not necessarily pilot, but they're working through it, and we're getting some pretty rave reviews on the.
They really
app.
are.
Yeah, they're really liking it.
Margaret.
So, yeah.
What did she say to you the other day?
I didn't really bring it up to her. She brought it up to me. She just said, that nutrition app is really great. She's like, it has all the foods that I actually already eat. And it just
so
puts
easy.
it into different recipes. And she's like, and they're easy. And yeah. The only thing she had me do was adjust her calories a little bit. But everything else was just great. So
Love it.
so there's that. And then we had a great showing on our last podcast that came out. So we want to give a shout out to our social media.
Yep.
Team Kelly and Jesse, and also Team Roberto, Johnny, and Sean
Yes.
for what they do at SB Studios as well. So
Killing
our
it.
podcast partners and social media partners are making our life wonderful.
They really are.
So
And as a little we have reached over 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel now.
the magical
All right.
108.
We're at the magical 108.
Helm 108.
The auspicious 108.
Yeah.
So, which is very exciting. Now, for big podcasters out there, like, 100 subscribers, that's nothing. But when you are getting a podcast off the ground, getting that first 100 is a big deal. And this past month, we've had over 12,000 views of our podcast and shorts off of our YouTube channel. So if you have not clicked subscribe and you do like the content of what it is that we do and you like to follow us, please do hit subscribe. We would be forever grateful.
And share it with someone you care about.
Yes.
That would be another great way.
I love that. Sharing's caring.
Yes.
So if you feel like somebody would benefit from this, another woman in your life, please do share our YouTube channel as well as our Instagram and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff, and our Facebook page. So we're just trying to get out there, and it seems to be working because we do have excellent partners.
Yeah.
So awesome.
So wellness check-in. You're
Yes.
sore today.
I know.
You're sore.
Oh my God.
So your body is sore.
Yes. So I'm getting my shit together.
Okay. Getting the gist.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
I am. I'm trying to get my
GYST.
What does that stand for?
GYST. Get your shit together.
Oh, okay. GYST. Okay. That didn't spell well in my head for a minute there. Yes, I'm trying to do that. Not that I think that I've been lazy, but
It's about time to get your shit together.
I know. I'm a mess. No, just re-engaging in the process again. I think I was very focused on recovery, which I still am. But
Which you needed.
I did, and needed to dial in my nutrition a little bit better. Not that I was eating anything bad, just several days not hitting my protein numbers, and I like carbs. I do.
They're good.
I do. I like carbs, and they are an essential thing that you need. I think I was probably just eating a little too much.
Okay.
So, but we went to hybrid camp this past weekend.
We did.
Oh my God.
Survived.
We did. We made it through.
Survived another week.
We made it through another camp with all of those burpee broad jumps.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Grayson. Appreciate you. And then yesterday, because today's Tuesday, yesterday worked out with August, and we have like the next level of goals that are being set. And so did a lot of very deep muscle work, fewer reps, but more on like the eccentric portion of an exercise. And
Yeah. Makes a
my
difference.
biceps and triceps were like, and my chest. And then this morning we were at the gym lifting, and it was leg day, and I did similar things with leg day. I gotta tell you, those like split stance Romanian deadlifts with kettlebells, that's a brutal exercise. And if like for me, if I don't really press into the heel and the leg, I can very easily feel it in my back. But yeah, I'm like, all of a sudden today I was like, oh my God, I'm really sore. So, but it feels good. It feels good to be kind of back in my body. So I'm excited about that. And then yoga today, which was great on the energetic level. Had a really nice turnout in class over at Yoga 6 in Garden City.
Nice.
And it was a hot and sweaty one. It's very interesting to see how like even just small shifts in temperature outside, how it really makes a big difference in the yoga studio.
Yeah.
But energetically, just had some great people in class, and trying to meet their needs and all of that. So that was really wonderful. I was excited about that. Mentally, emotionally, good place. Like
Good.
we are just crushing.
Kicking ass.
Oh my God, we're kicking so much ass.
We have a dope life.
Because we do dope shit. It's so great.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, there's something just so nice about summer or late spring, early summer.
Yeah.
And the weather has just been beautiful. This past Saturday was pretty hot, but it's kind of gone down back to, the 70s, the place that we pizzas like. So that's been really nice. And just mentally, emotionally, like Michael came back from his retreat in Canada, and the world feels whole again in the house. Kitties are like, we're not starving and dirty, and so mentally, emotionally, that's been nice.
Good.
And intuitively, I just feel like we are in the flow. Like everything is just moving in the direction that it needs to be. I'm just like super excited about the clients that we have right now, and how they're just very intuitively connecting. I actually, ironically, I had a gal reach out to me a couple of months back. She set up a consultation for Ayurveda, and she had a lot going on, and so she said that she was going to follow up with me, and didn't for a long time, and then followed up yesterday, and I got this intuitive hit that I was like, I don't think this is the person I should be working with. I don't think that I'm going to be the right fit for her where she is right now. So that was an interesting, like, intuitive hit. So I feel like my intuition is a lot higher right now, whereas back in the day, I would have been like, sure, like I'll take any patient, And not to say that I don't give people an opportunity, but it was a good self-reflective process where I was like, based on her very specific needs, I think that there needs to be a different kind of person first before she kind of comes to me, full time or in her next stage.
Yeah.
So that was really neat. And then spiritually, like killing it with the yoga nidras.
Nice.
Which has been great. And going back into asana and mudra for our lineage and reading about Swami Kripalu's postures and all of his insight. It's just so amazing to read that text. It's so big.
Yeah.
But really cool. And it's been great. Like things are friggin' fantastic right now. I'm getting ready to go to San Diego to spend a week with my mom, also the week of my birthday. So I got a birthday coming up next week. And killing it.
Awesome.
How about you, girl? What are the things?
Physically, feeling pretty darn good. Feeling very strong.
You look strong.
Thank you. Grayson said, this is a very nice compliment, Grayson. I appreciate it. But he's like, did you get jacked over the spring? And I'm like, I don't know. Did I?
As a matter of fact, you did.
So that was cool.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Check.
And then the MK677 and the BPC 157 are
Game changer.
game changer for me.
How's that knee as a result?
Sunday we ran
A lot.
and
You ran a lot.
it hurt afterwards, but by today it really doesn't feel too terrible.
Whereas it would
It'd be
have been
done for about a week.
I was going to say it.
It'd be hard to root.
That's a shift.
Yeah. So that's a shift for sure. So that's been really nice. So yeah, physically feeling very strong. I feel like I have a smile on my face all the time now, which everybody keeps saying that. They're like, you just look so much happier. And I'm just like, I am. So that's nice. And
It is nice.
yeah, it's great. Great to feel that. And so that's a great energy. So moving into the energetic portion, I feel like I have great energy surrounding me and just very happy. Mentally, emotionally, really kind of goes into, I'd probably tie that in with my intuition because with things that have transpired, just with just relationship stuff, I've really been focusing on my intuition a lot and it's been right.
Yes, it has.
And I'm finally not getting super emotionally attached about it. And I think yesterday when I mentioned in Telegram to you that I need to stop apologizing in my head for being who I am,
Yes.
that was huge.
You know, I want to pause for that for a minute
Yeah.
because I think this is also important that all the women who are listening to this podcast really pay attention to. I've said this a million times that we tend to be oriented as women to apologizing for things. Oh, I'm sorry for this or I'm sorry for that. And stop. Just stop apologizing for taking up space, for being big, for going after your goals, for being the strongest, most vibrant person that you can possibly be. I mean, we have a mission. And
I've been doing really well with visibly doing that, I think. However, in my mind, I still have that little voice that is apologetic for being too big. And what happened this last week, I took it very differently. And I separated the emotion out of it. And I just said, that's okay. It's fine. I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. And that's okay. And
it's actually more than okay.
I'm not going to apologize for it. And if it's not a fit, it's not a fit.
Nope.
So, but I think just not being emotionally attached to that and not getting mentally wrapped up too much in it. I'm getting a lot of practice, which I think is the universe telling me that I need practice with doing all of this.
Yes.
Because it's, my decision to date and get out there. I've been hit by wave and wave and wave of, oh, you need to practice this. You need to practice saying no to this. You need to practice doing this.
Yes.
And okay, I get it. Like I'm listening. And,
but the great news is with all of it is that you're taking in the information and you're making different choices, not going back into, old patterns.
Yeah.
And those are wins. I mean, it's so easy. We had this conversation. It's so easy to, in anything, to make the same decision, even though you need to make a different decision. But we make the same decision because it's familiar.
Yeah.
And I know what the outcome is going to be because I've done this before. Versus, okay, it's scary to make a new decision because I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And you're taking that quote unquote risk and making some different choices that are ultimately wrapping around to be way better.
Yeah. And seeing when other people make those other choices of going back to that safe space.
Yes.
And being the witness in that, which leads to the spirituality. Could continue to work on my spiritual practice, but I think that the dealing with my samskaras, the dealing with I am a part of the divine. I have that divinity within me. I'm paying attention to my intuition. Like, I think that's a piece that I don't always think about being spiritual, but it really is. And like, that's really what I think a lot of spirituality and religions are trying to get people to do is like, be self-aware, make different choices.
Yes.
The golden rule, do unto others as you have done unto them.
Yes.
Like, and so, maybe you don't always have to read a book or a scripture. And you just have to live that way.
Yes.
So,
well, and it goes back to when you put your spirituality first as the way in which we live. I mean, all of this stuff that we talk about from, today we happen to be talking about herbs, but like food and our dinacharya, like that daily routine and all this stuff, those are spiritual practices that are rooted in this Vedic science that we live every single day. So it's not like we come on the podcast and we talk about this and then, we live a completely different life. That's not how that works. Like, we're doing that dinacharya every single day.
And that is an everyday struggle. For those of you out there, that is an everyday struggle to live the way you are telling other people to live their lives.
Yes.
And that's what we always strive to make sure that we do.
Yes. Shakti pimps.
Shakti pimps.
That's going to be the new headband. Shakti pimps. Okay, so we are pimping out positive, feminine, divine energy out here. So no, and I think it's always leading by example.
Always.
And that's why we do these wellness check-ins, because guess what? We're not perfect.
No.
And showing what's going on in our lives and our vulnerabilities and all of that is an essential part of leading by example. I had a gal reach out to me today, just discussing a particular struggle that she was having, and she says, I want to break this cycle, and because it's something that's familiar inside of her family and all of this. And she's like, I want to break this cycle, and I'm asking and reaching out for help. And what I love about that is when people are like, yeah, I'm having this struggle. This is very real. And they're not, how should I say, they're okay with being vulnerable. Like, that's the first step in the whole process. Like, you have to be vulnerable. You have to put it out there. You have to ask for help, versus like, my life is fine and everything, I'm going to keep this in the closet and not let anybody know. One of the things that Michael would always say is, if we all like shared our sorrow together and cried together, like, the world would be such a better place.
Yeah.
Because your struggle and my struggle are actually the same.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this podcast, is not only to share the Vedic wisdom and how that relates to our daily lives, but also to allow women to understand that being vulnerable is an excellent thing, and that with vulnerability we grow.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Not that you need me to be proud of you, because you don't, but it's good stuff.
But boy, on those days, when those things happen, it sure is nice to get your back up and you got this, girl.
You'll always have it.
I know. I love
Otherwise, they're in the trunk with a shovel. No, I'm kidding.
it. That would never happen.
No, never. Awesome.
Not without a unicorn suit on. And
I need you now. Wear a costume.
bring a shovel.
Bring a shovel. I love it. Okay. We're doing it.
All right. Ayurvedic herbs
Let's do it.
in the body.
I'm excited about this.
All right.
So mentally, emotionally, as it relates to herbs, there's a couple of layers to this as to why we've included it in this Koshik level. The first thing is that, like I said in the beginning, the herb supplement game can be a total mental mind fuck, because there's so much stuff out there. You should take this, you should take that. Do I take a multi? Do I take, D12, whatever the supplement is, and why it's effective, et cetera, et cetera. And then there is also herbs that do help with the relationship between our mental, emotional self and our physiology. And a good herb, good supplement, will marry those two things together. It will understand that what is happening in the body or not happening in the body is also part of the mental, emotional cycle as well. So what we actually did is, would you like to hold up one of our little photos here? We have created, and actually this was created by the great Jessie Crozier, who is our graphic designer and part of our social media team with Kelly Bateson. And we actually have this as an available downloadable PDF on our website. So if you go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com, you can go to any of the pages, and at the bottom we have free resources there that you can download. So what we decided to do today was, let's first talk perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopausal herbs today. And then we're going to go into herbs/supplements that are recommended for strength training, because we get these questions all the time. So we have talked about lining up your fitness constitutionally. We have talked about lining up food constitutionally. And now it's like, let's talk about herbs as it relates to these two major categories, which is this, from perimenopause all the way through menopause, as well as, or postmenopause rather, and as well as strength training. Because we always get what supplement should I take? And so here we are. I'm excited about this. So We have 6 that we have really kind of zoned in on for our PDF one sheet that we wanted to share. And it's not to say that there aren't others that are just as effective or that you don't want to, that you can't make other choices. But these are just the ones that we're familiar with that have been great. So do you want to read? We'll start out with Shatavari.
Okay. So Shatavari is a powerful Ayurvedic herb, often called the queen of herbs for women. It supports hormonal balance, eases menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, and may promote a healthy weight.
So you know what Shatavari actually is? Asparagus root.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that fascinating? So, and then the one that we want to talk about these in kind of groups. So the one that we paired this with is wild yam.
Okay.
So
I was going to say,
Yep.
Shatavari, wild yam, and Vitex are the 3 that I start taking when you're like, perimenopause.
we should do this.
So wild yam is often used as a natural remedy for menopausal relief. It contains diosgenin, a plant compound that can be lab converted into hormones and is known to help reduce hot flashes and night sweats.
Excellent. So Shatavari and wild yam. In the world of Ayurvedic herbs, there are what are known as classifications of herbs. And so both of these are considered rasayanas or tonics. And so the word rasayana means that there is a rejuvenative portion to this. And specifically as it relates to Shatavari and wild yam, they are tonics that tonify the female reproductive system. So they are rejuvenative in nature. And so when things start to shift from a perimenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal standpoint, that taking these 2 are very good in terms of tonifying the reproductive system. They increase the general health of the reproductive system. So because when we start to enter perimenopause, we obviously start to fade out of getting a regular menstrual cycle. And so the reproductive system starts to begin to, quote unquote, dry out and start to shift its climate. And, we're moving away from those birthing reproductive years and moving into that portion of our lives, stopping and moving from the Kapha and Pitta time of life and moving into the Vata time of life. So they increase the general health, like I said, of the reproductive system, and they're actually recommended in conditions of Vata dosha in Shukra Dhatu. So what does that mean? When we get out of the Pitta cycle of life, so we have these 3 cycles or these 3 periods in our life that we've talked about before. Kapha from 0 to 25, 25 to about 50, 55 is Pitta, and then from 55 on, we enter the Vata stage. And so when we enter the Vata stage, there starts to become more air and ether and dryness in our physical bodies as well as our mental, emotional state. So the physical body not only begins to dry out, but also from a mental, emotional standpoint, this is when women start to experience like anxiety and things like that. So
Just then.
just that. It starts to
Intensify?
Intensify. That's a good word. Yes, starts to intensify. And the place that we experience it the most outside of the mental, emotional body is in what is known as Shukra Dhatu, which is our hormones. And also in Artavaha Shrota. And the Shrotas are the channels of the body. And Artavaha is the reproductive channels, or the channels, what it actually translates to mean from Sanskrit is the channel that carries menstrual blood. So it has everything to do with female infertility and vaginal dryness. And it doesn't mean infertility meaning that one can't have children, but rather we start moving towards an infertile stage in our lives. So Shatavari and wild yam rejuvenate that reproductive system. And actually, Shatavari can also be taken by men. So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But those 2 herbs are excellent rasayanas or tonifiers for the reproductive system and balancing things like anxiety and hot flashes and things like that. So
Okay.
Yep. Then we have ashwagandha and jadamansi.
Okay. Ashwagandha. Oh, and just as a side note from personal experience, when I started taking Shatavari, Wild Am, and Vitex, way less vaginal dryness.
Right.
Like it was just feeling so awkward at night. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I started taking the, that's
It gets the juices flowing.
It does. Yeah. Ashwagandha. This Ayurvedic herb supports hormone balance, reduces hot flashes and sleep disturbances, and helps regulate cortisol.
Key cortisol.
That never.
No.
That's not a thing. May also boost muscle strength and reduce inflammation, especially when combined with resistance training. And then Jatamansi is an amazing herb for improving the quality of your sleep. Why do you need that? Managing stress levels and fostering emotional well-being. So one helps get you to sleep. The other one improves your sleep.
Yes.
And
for the most
they
part
both reduce cortisol.
Right. And can keep you
Which
asleep.
is, if you have that stuff around the midsection, that's cortisol.
Yes, it is.
Excess cortisol.
Right. So we get a lot of gals who are like, how can I get rid of my mano belly?
Fat around my belly.
My mano belly. Right.
Yeah.
Now,
It's inflammation.
for the record, it doesn't
It
mean
does happen naturally.
Yes.
Yes.
But for the record, it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm just going to take Jatamansi and like I'm not going to do
Problem solved.
anything. Right. Like
Yeah.
that's not how that works. Okay. You do have to combine it with your strength training and your diet and proper sleep. But what I love about these two, which are also, they're also rasayanas, they're also tonics that rejuvenate the reproductive system, but they're also adaptogens, which means that they stabilize the physiological processes that promote homeostasis in the body, that help us adapt to stress. So what's interesting, and I'll try to put this in layperson's terms for the most part, as we move from our reproductive years and we start moving towards our non-reproductive years in the Vata time of life, we're losing juice. Okay? We're losing some ojas. We're losing obviously our hormone balance, and we get our ojas from our hormones.
That's in Western, like your mitochondrial health starts to decline.
Exactly.
That's how
Yes,
sciencey people would say
stuff.
it. Yeah.
So as we lose our juice, if we're still living our lives in, for lack of a better word, an intense way, like we're still doing all the things because
Do what you do, you get what you got.
exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yes. But also like women who go into menopause, a lot of them are still raising kids.
Yeah.
You know, in their 50s.
Or grandkids.
Right, or grandkids. There's still these stresses of life. It doesn't mean they're like, oh, I turned 50, I went through menopause, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm retired and like life is fine. Like, a lot of women are still, they got another,
Starting
15
businesses.
Right, 15, 20 years left, right, starting businesses. They have another 15 or 20 years. And so, like, you need some mojo.
Yeah.
You need some mojo. So, ashwagandha and jatamansi, they help us adapt to the stressors of life to make things a little bit easier.
And that being said, also, if you think about, if you want to do those things, you still got grandkids, you still have kids, you want to start a business, like Sat said, these two things are not going to help on their own. No. You also have to strength train. You also have to be active because you don't get to sit on your butt until you die.
Right.
So you're still moving. You're still doing stuff. So you should probably have a body that can actually do it.
Yep. And diet and sleep. So like in the Ayurveda, like health balancing lexicon, sleep is the first pillar of health.
Yeah.
So the thing that also ashwagandha and jatamansi are is that they are what is known as nervines. Okay. And we have three different categories of what are known as nervines. And what a nervine is that it's an herbal supplement that strengthens the nervous system, that manages the nervous system. We have nervines that are stimulants, we have nervines that are sedatives, and we have nervines that are tonics. Okay. So a nervine stimulant, which we'll talk about at another herb here, but it's something that awakens the nervous system and stimulates sympathetic functioning. Okay, so it stimulates things like thinking and being actively engaged. And when we say stimulant, it's not the same as in allopathic medicine. It's not like I'm taking uppers. That's not the point. The second category of a nervine, which is where ashwagandha and jadamamsi fall, are known as nervine sedatives, which calm the nervous system and stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. And then the third category of nervines is what is known as tonics, which strengthen their nervous system, which again, ashwagandha and shatavari are both part of that. So ashwagandha is both a sedative and a tonic, which means that it calms the nervous system down and also strengthens it. So women who are going through these transitions, when they are experiencing anxiety, they can take ashwagandha so that it calms things down, but also starts to reinforce the nervous system so that they don't always feel like it's being tugged at, that they're constantly in that fight or flight stage. It's recommended for Vata imbalances, which is where a lot of the mental game is, and specifically the mental channel, or the what we call the shrota for that. And then also it strengthens what is known as Majja Dhatu, which is our bone marrow and our nervous system tissue that's in the body. And jadamamsi is just a nervine sedative, which really kind of, brings the house lights down. So that helps. Super helpful.
All right.
Then we have Brahmi.
Brahmi supports overall well-being during menopause by easing bloating, aches, pains, and brain fog. It also helps reduce stress and anxiety by toning and calming the nervous system.
Brahmi. Mm-hmm. Great Ayurvedic herb. What's interesting about Brahmi is that it is a nervine, stimulant, sedative, and a tonic all in one, which is really interesting. So one of the major things that we hear all the time with women who are going through menopause is, I have all this brain fog and I have memory problems. Mm-hmm. And that is as a result of, just a lot going on during that time, major hormonal shifts, et cetera. So Brahmi, it's a very complex herb and it does all of the things. So as a stimulant, it actually awakens the nervous system and it stimulates that sympathetic thinking. So it helps immensely with brain fog and alertness. So, because a lot of times it's like, ooh, we feel a little spacey during this time. Or I walk into a room and I forgot why I went in there kind of situation. And so what it does is that it clears kind of the dullness and the brain fog. And just like ashwagandha and jadamamsi, it is also a nervine sedative and a tonic. So it helps with the nervous system, rejuvenating it, and also, again, bringing the house lights down. But the biggest component that it has is the anti-brain fog situation.
Okay.
And then we have Vitex.
Vitex, also known as chasteberry. Vitex is a natural remedy for menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, mood swings, sleep disturbances. It may help balance hormones by supporting healthy estrogen and progesterone levels during the transition.
Yes. Vitex is a really good one. In Ayurveda, it traditionally had a lot of different purposes, but the major thing was dealing with hormone balance. Mm-hmm. So Vitex is just an excellent thing to support the estrogen and progesterone levels that are inside the body. So with these 6 herbs, and Vitex is also a rasayana. It's a rejuvenative. With these 6 herbs, I think the combination of all of them hit various different things, from brain fog to anxiety to hormone balance to inflammation to sleep issues, kind of that whole combination. And yes, you can find formulas out there that have a lot of these in there, but I'm kind of a big believer in the purest effect. And I think that taking all of them individually is a good thing. And it doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't take a lot. The thing to note with these also is that there are some of these, actually most of them are what we consider cooling herbs. So, because what happens a lot during this time is there's a lot of heat that's generated, a lot of, the hot flashes and all of that. So shatavari and wild yam and jadamamsi and brahmi are cooling herbs that kind of just take that level of heat out. Ashwagandha tends to be a little bit more of a heating herb, but not so much that it would throw things off course. But if you are considering taking some of these, and if you are on any other kinds of medications, you do want to see, because sometimes ashwagandha can have some contraindications with some medicines that people are taking. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
And that's that.
All right.
Then we have our
Recommended supplements.
recommended supplements for strength training. So let's start out with rhodiola.
This powerful adaptogen is known for fighting fatigue, reducing stress, and enhancing both physical and mental endurance. It supports the body's ability to adapt to stress, promoting overall resilience and vitality.
Rhodiola, it's an adaptogen, which means that it helps the body adapt to stress, like you just read. In strength training, it helps the body with resiliency and endurance. And being able to, like when we go to hybrid camp on the weekend and we're dealing with, a lot of interval stuff, high intensity interval training, that kind of thing. It's very helpful with that. It also can increase strength and power and reduce any kind of perceived exertion. And also it helps with improving muscle recovery, which is really fantastic. So big fan of rhodiola, especially if you're fighting fatigue.
Okay.
So that's a good one. And then we have creatine.
Creatine boosts strength, enhances workout performance. It speeds up recovery for women in or approaching menopause. It's especially beneficial when paired with resistance training, helping to maintain muscle mass, strength, and bone density. And are we particularly talking about creatine monohydrate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Of which we highly recommend the Sun Warrior brand.
We do.
I really do.
The lemon tastes lovely.
It does taste lovely. Creatine, obviously it's not an herb, but rather an amino acid.
There's a lot of studies coming out about creatine monohydrate, the benefits of taking more than what you used to think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right now it's like between 5 and 10 mgs. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. So in strength training, what I love about creatine is it's excellent for muscle contraction and also high intensity interval training and activities like weightlifting. It helps support muscle growth and recovery, increase strength over time. And I think it's an overall fantastic supplement, especially for you women that we know we lose 8% of our muscle each year after the age of 30. So combining strength training and taking creatine every single day is going to help eliminate those issues.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that. And then, so I think, all of these have their own, but this is the game that I play for sure. So then we have Tribulus.
Have I thanked you lately for introducing me to Tribulus?
No. Are you loving Tribulus?
Sure.
Which a lot of people are like, why would women take Tribulus when it's kind of a testosterone booster?
I don't know.
Like,
do you want to sleep with your wife?
Exactly.
Ever again?
But also, it's so fucked up. But women.
Well, that's why I'm thanking you every day, kind of sarcastically, because when I started taking Tribulus, I was like, okay. Yeah. Between that and more protein and strength training. Okay.
Yep.
Tribulus supports sexual wellness by boosting libido, enhancing mood, and promoting urinary tract health, which is also something else I really needed. It's also popular in strength training for its potential to naturally elevate testosterone, aiding in strength performance and recovery.
We lose testosterone,
Yes, we do.
as we go through menopause.
I'm well aware.
And so, a lot of folks are like, well, shouldn't men only be taking that? No.
Nope.
Women need to take Tribulus
both of us.
too. Absolutely. And actually what's really interesting is that the category of herb that Tribulus falls into in Ayurveda is an aphrodisiac.
Does not surprise me.
So because it improves, your sexual wellness and your libido. A lot of women, when they start going through menopause, lose sexual desire. And then it becomes this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy of we lose sexual desire. And so we're not using our reproductive areas because we're not having sex. And as a result, I can't believe my phone is ringing. My goodness. Sorry, guys. But we then lose the use of it, and then it creates dryness, into that whole situation. So taking Tribulus as a woman is super important. So as an aphrodisiac, like you said, it increases our physical performance also because we get that testosterone boost. It's like the natural steroid.
Yeah.
But in a much more productive way. What also is great is that it helps to alleviate infections, hence the fact that it helps with urinary tract health, because that's something that happens a lot.
Yep.
When women,
UTIs
are a big thing that happen with women as they're going through this, and also libido. But from a strength training perspective, in addition to the endurance part of it, increased strength, there is it can lead to muscle mass gain, which is really great. Again, knowing that we lose muscle every year, taking Tribulus in addition to your strength training is going to be amazing. So, and then we have our BCAAs, our branched chain amino acids.
Popular in strength training for their ability to support muscle growth, enhance recovery, and reduce fatigue. Research suggests that they may boost protein synthesis, lessen soreness, and improve overall performance.
There's been a lot of controversy about BCAAs recently, which is, people are like, oh, they don't really do anything. Like also all of a sudden recently, everybody's like, oh, BCAAs, they really don't do anything, et cetera. I don't think anything does anything unless you're coupling it with sleep, proper diet, strength training, recovery.
Also depends on the company that's making it and whether or not they're actually making the BCAAs or not.
That is a true statement.
So
that is absolutely a true statement.
Once the FDA approves stuff, then everybody wants to make it, and they don't always. The same thing with creatine.
Yes.
So you want to know what your source is for sure.
Agreed. The primary, though, with BCAAs is for protein synthesis and recovery. And I'll say that, at the level in which you and I train and race, it's an essential part of my recovery. It helps to that with, jumping over to glutamine.
Okay.
Is the same situation.
Supports muscle repair, enhances recovery, reduces soreness after strength training. Yeah.
Yep. So again, BCAAs and glutamine, they help with muscle recovery from soreness and also reducing fatigue, as well as what is known as in Ayurveda, and I know this is also something in allopathic medicine, is it reduces or prevents muscle wasting. So like muscles don't, so like say as an example, you get injured, okay, and you're laid up for a while.
Yeah.
You start to lose your muscle tone about 2 weeks in, but say like you got into an accident or, you blow out a knee or a shoulder or something like that. If you take BCAAs and glutamine, it will help with that, specifically with BCAAs, it will help with the wasting of the muscles so that it just doesn't like turn to flab and mush over that. But glutamine, just going back, it's traditionally, is not traditionally an Ayurvedic herb. I just wanted to say that for the record. But rather, it is an important amino acid that helps with the recovery process. And I think it also, what a lot of people don't know is that with glutamine also supports gut health, which is an excellent byproduct of taking it, including building protein. And it is just amazing for muscle recovery. I remember when I first started training in Krav, I was like spoonfuls of glutamine and BCAAs because, when you're getting your ass kicked every single day, you're like, oh, I sore. So this was great. And then finally, our sixth one is turmeric.
Known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties, can help reduce muscle soreness and inflammation after strength training, supporting quicker recovery and overall joint health.
Yes. Turmeric is a big one. And I know that there's been a lot of PR around turmeric in recent years. It's
warranted.
Right. It has a good publicist. But in Ayurveda, it's considered an analgesic, which helps to reduce pain. And so it's often considered also a go-to for inflammation. So when everybody started to realize that, like the Mano belly and a lot of our physical limitations while we're going through menopause and perimenopause was actually accumulated inflammation. Turmeric really hit the scene. What the turmeric also does is that it helps with the lymphatic system. It helps with the circulatory system. So it has a variety. It's not just an anti-inflammatory, but also helps with like removing stagnation in the body and purifying the lymphatic system and reducing heat, as well as increasing circulation in the body. So the way we get rid of pain is by getting rid of blockages and getting blood moving and circulating. From a muscular standpoint, it helps to, by reducing the inflammation, it helps to promote muscle growth, which is really amazing. And it helps with faster recovery times so that if you do have hard training sessions, you can get back into it a little bit faster than what you normally would. So.
All right.
So like that's really it. We've got our perimenopause, menopause, postmenopausal herbs, as well as our recommended herbs for strength training. We've, gotten a lot of these questions and this is also something that we're incorporating into our app. And these are free resources for you on our website. So again, if you want to download it, go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com and you can download those free PDFs.
Nice.
Yes. I'm excited that we did this.
Yes. So very easy. Try this, not that.
Yes. What is the try this, not that?
It'd be hard for you guys to think about what I might be saying here. Try some of these herbs. Try some of these supplements. So, for example, instead of maybe an NSAID, you try some turmeric, maybe a little glutamine, BCAAs. Some of those you might want to take beforehand. A little rhodiola.
On the tribulus side of life, rather than taking Viagra.
Yeah. Take some tribulus. It's great.
It's an aphrodisiac.
And then, obviously on the perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal side, there's just so many drugs that they want to throw at you.
Oh, I know.
And
like, do not do HRT.
try some of this stuff first.
Right. If you can avoid HRT and take these herbs, like take them for like 6 months. And
because once you get on the train, it's kind of hard to get off.
It is.
So get on this train first.
I agree.
Yeah. And to calm the nervous system down, maybe instead of taking, a nightly, sleep aid,
And there's a variety.
There's a lot of them out there. Take some ashwagandha, some jatamansi, and just, try to calm the natural way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yep. You don't necessarily need an edible.
No.
Or a gummy.
No.
Or alcohol,
No.
which actually only makes the situation worse.
Yes.
Or a sleep aid like Ambien. And for the record, like all of those have been tried, friends. Like I took Ambien for a long time in my late 20s.
I don't think I've ever had.
Oh, it's terrible. You wake up like a zombie. And so try these herbs first. You will not have an herbal hangover, which I love. The truth bomb of the day is understand this. Fitness after 30 isn't optional. It's insurance for your energy, your discipline, your mental health. You either build it now or pay for it later. No one escapes the invoice. So take care of it. We're giving you all of these resources, friends.
Yep.
Like free herbs for for strength training, free herbs for your menopausal experience.
And there's some great sites out there, right? To get these herbs. Maharishi.
Yes. Maharishi Ayurveda does a great job with their herbs.
I just got a big shipment.
Yep.
They were all on sale.
Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like Tribulus for like $6. Sign me up.
You didn't tell me this? Okay, I'm not talking to you now.
Okay.
And Banyan Botanicals, Himalaya does a great job.
Yeah.
And Gaia. I'm really liking Gaia herbs.
Okay.
They're compounded
And those you can
very
find
well.
at like a Fred Meyer. You can, some of those things.
absolutely.
The Himalaya and the Gaia,
Yep.
I believe are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banyan, you got to order online.
Yeah,
And
Maharishi,
Maharishi,
you
you
gotta
have to order
order.
online. But the others, they've got them at Whole Foods. They've got them at Natural Grocers, Fred Meyer,
Co-op.
Co-op, all that stuff.
Check
So
it out.
do the thing. So, All right, friends, all the free resources, check it out. If you have any questions, please do email us. You can find how to contact us from our website, thewomanwarrioracademy.com. And we hope that this was helpful and informative for you. And we'll be back once again. So thank you so much for listening to us and joining us. Please do share the show, subscribe, tell other people to subscribe on our YouTube channel. We would be forever grateful. And as always, Jai Bhagwan. May your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.